The Edge Report, 365 Days to Financial Freedom. Do you ever wake up in the morning and feel an overwhelming sense of dread that you have to drag your tired, uninspired self to the same menial job that you worked at for years? Do you get tired of the same old rinse and repeat Groundhog Day cycle of work, weekend, pay the bills, work, weekend, pay the bills? Here comes Christmas, here comes New Year's, and you are at day one of 365 days of the same cycle, broke and disillusioned with 358 shopping days left until Christmas. Don't feel bad, you're not alone. The majority of people are in the same dilemma. Is there a solution? A way out? I started asking myself the same question, subconsciously at first, until the question got louder and louder. Is this all there is to life? How do I escape this hamster wheel? Is it possible to change my life? In the 1996 film The Edge, Anthony Hopkins stars as Charles Morse, a billionaire who travels to Alaska with his wife, a model, and her photographer Bob Green. If you haven't seen this movie, I recommend you hit pause on this video and go watch it. It will be much more entertaining, and you can come back in a couple hours and this will make much more sense. Otherwise, spoiler alert. It's revealed early in the movie that Charles is a genius with a vast knowledge of diverse subjects. However, he states that all of this knowledge is hypothetical and putting it to any practical purpose is challenging. Charles and Bob, played by Alec Baldwin, end up in a plane crash along with Bob's assistant Stephen. Charles remains calm and attempts to put his knowledge into practical use. As each idea fails, he simply shifts to another concept and continues to be positive that they can escape their situation simply by continuing to think rationally. It all falls apart when a bear starts stalking them and kills and devours Stephen. I warned you there were spoilers. Bob has a meltdown, and Charles grows even more resolute that he can solve this problem. He convinces Bob that Native Americans killed bears with spears, and they can do the same because, as he declares repeatedly, what one man can do, another can do. Bob is skeptical, of course, but they have no other options, and following the plan mapped out by Charles, they succeed in killing the bear. Fattened up on bear meat and clothed in warm bear hide, they continue the journey to escape the wilderness. I don't want to ruin the whole movie, so I won't get into the part where Bob tries to kill Charles and ends up dying himself right before the rescue helicopter shows up. Moving on. So what does this have to do with anything? Well, it's simple. In addition to his belief that what one man can do, another can do, Charles also states that when he gets out of this situation, he's going to change his life. Not many people actually take charge of their own lives. They simply ride along in bemusement as each event unfolds and ponder how things could be different if they simply had more control of their situation. Ask yourself one question. Do you love your job? If you say no, good, there's hope. If you say yes, you're lying to yourself. But let's break down both answers. If the answer is no, you need to ask a follow-up question. Then why do you do it? The answer to that is, of course, because you need the money. If you say yes, you need to ask a follow-up question as well. If you had a guaranteed income that did not require you to show up at a workplace ever, would you still go to work? If you could wake up every morning and decide what you actually want to do today, would go to work be your first choice? If you still say yes, go away. You'll likely miss the point of this video. I've been a construction worker my whole life. I fell out of high school on a Friday and ended up at work on a Monday. I get up every morning at 4:30, I go to work, and I get home every evening between 5:30 and 6:30. This career choice of mine was one brought on by family members already being in the business and going to work for them. It's been a lucrative career in that I pay my bills and I have food and clothes. I get to pay my mortgage every month. I rarely have any leftover money though. You scrape and squander all year long trying to save up enough money for vacation, school clothes, Christmas, whatever. So you never really accumulate any cash. This is the hamster wheel cycle that we're put on. We're told from an early age to get a good job, and this will get you a decent car and a place to live, which requires you to continue working at your job so that you can pay for these things. I started watching the TV show Billions. I binge watched that over a weekend, and that got me to thinking. The stock market is controlled by Wall Street, and there's a lot of money floating around there. Most of it's conjured out of thin air. A company goes public, sells shares of its stocks to whoever will buy them, and then pockets the money. The valuation of that stock is set by a bunch of people guessing what it's worth. After that, people start trading the stocks amongst themselves. And again, the value of the stock is based on almost always what people are willing to pay for it. Now, the performance of the company can influence the price of the stock, but so can the amount of people buying and selling it. So the correlation between a stock's value and the company it represents is shifty at best. I started looking into it, and I realized that the stock market's not as complicated as it seems. Yet it's much more complicated than it seems. However, Warren Buffett became a billionaire buying and selling stocks, conjuring money out of thin air. What one man can do, another can do. Could I make money out of thin air? No, that's too easy. But if what one man can do, another can do is a true statement, which it is, and you can conjure money out of thin air by buying and selling stocks is a true statement, which it is, then there's no reason I can't do this. And this is what got me started on my journey, 365 days to financial freedom. I gave myself 1 year to come up with an alternate source of income that frees up my time and allows me to do what I truly want to do in life, which is anything but get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and drag myself to work, where I subside on nothing more than 3 cups of coffee, a gas station hot dog, and a 44-ounce Mountain Dew. It's got to be something better. Before the housing market collapsed in 2008, I had started an E-Trade account with the intention of dabbling in the stock market because the economy was good, money was flowing, and it seemed like the logical next step. I had zero information about trading stocks. All I did was buy a couple companies that I thought were cheap, and I stared at them daily, seeing if they would go up in value. Those two companies happened to be Kmart and Singer Sewing Machine, both of which went out of business and my stocks evaporated. Needless to say, I was disillusioned by it and never pursued it any further. Although at the time I did look at SPY as an ETF and thought that would be a good thing to get into, but the cost of it was greater than what I was willing to spend. Hindsight, yeah, I get it. So things are different. There's a trading app called Robinhood. 0 fees, 0 commissions. What could possibly go wrong? This is tailor-made for me. This is perfect. This is the answer to everything. But we'll get into that more in the next episode. If you check out my mission statement, you'll see what I'm truly after. The path I'm going to take is to learn everything I can about investing and how to fast track myself into a career choice that is actually a choice. This has been the Edge Report.